So, on November the 15th, this keyboard will be replaced. There will be a brand new Genos Mark II, and this instrument will become secondhand. There's going to be loads of them, I can guarantee you. I'm pretty sure that anybody who's got a Genos and has been waiting this phenomenal amount of time for an upgrade, and let's face it, it better be a bloody good upgrade. So these instruments are going to be coming available. So if you've got a Tyros 3, 4, 5, even maybe if you've got a Tyros 1 or 2, are you thinking about upgrading? And what would the benefit be? Now, I don't understand what it is, but there seems to have been a band of Tyros 5 owners who are sort of so set in their ways and so anti-Genos, I don't really get my head around it. I mean, I've even got friends who still say, "Oh no, Tyros 5 was so much better," but it isn't. I'm the most understanding person when it comes to common sense. If you've got common sense, fine. We'll get on. If you're just pig-headed for the sake of being pig-headed, and you're trying to defend something that is indefensible, then why would you stick with a Tyros 5? Well, okay, there's only one reason that I see valid, maybe, and that's the build quality and the screen on the Tyros 5. It weighs a ton. Now, for some people, that they see value in weight. I don't understand it. You're not buying gold. You're buying a keyboard. So what is the point of having something so heavy? If you did want to take it out, you couldn't. I mean, I took Tyros out a few times, and my God, it was like dragging a dead body behind me in a bag. It was just too heavy. This has been an absolute joy to transport. You can stick it under one arm, for Pete's sake. So, to me, that is a benefit. Then there's the argument, well, the screen doesn't tilt. 99% of you will be playing these at home. In your living room, you're not on stage, you're not outdoors. And even if you are outdoors, as this has been, it's been outdoors once, no problem. No problem whatsoever, because you take into account where you position it. You don't go and slap it in the middle of the midday sun. It's not good for the keyboard. I mean, you wouldn't shove this out in the middle of the desert, would you? Let's face it. So again, another non-valid point. I just don't understand the reasoning. And I'm sure people are going to go below, "Oh, well, you're having a go because you just want..." I'm not. I'm trying to establish why common sense doesn't kick in, that a newer product has better features, better sounds than something that is effectively going to be 16. Actually, how old will it be? It'll be probably about 10, 11 years old, maybe. It's out of date. It's history. You wouldn't keep a Tyros 2 and tell everybody it's better than what's being produced now. It's not the case. You've got touchscreen. Tyros 5 doesn't have that. The screen on the Tyros 5 will start to go dull because the LED panel, LCD panel that's in it, isn't of a higher good enough quality to last for years. And you can see this. I mean, my Tyros 3 that I had and recently sold, you could see the screen changing tone and colour because it's old. This thing is still as clear as the day I bought it, and it's 6 years old. It's super. You've got this nice LED, LED. Oh, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's LED, I think. Screen here. That displays all your volumes, nice, and you can see when you've got it. These are an absolute godsend in terms of being able to control the volume on the fly. So if you want to change the style volume, or you want to do drawbar changes, they're great. They're in a good position. They work well. I've got no problems with these. I did have when I first got it because I thought, these are a bit, these are going to go because they are very light to the touch. 6 years on, bulletproof. They have not a single problem. And that's the thing with the Yamaha product. It doesn't fail. rarely do you have a problem with something that's got the big Y on it. All these years I've been playing keyboards, I play them every day in, day out, without fail, never had a problem. Ever. And I say that hand on heart. So Yamaha's quality control is stunning. 10 registration buttons straight in front of you. Dead easy to use. You know how they work. You've got a Tyros 5. So you've got 2 more than you had. No change there. Control panel for the style. Same as your Tyros 5. No change there. The content in it is much, much better. The style variation choices, again, and this is the problem, you've got an arranger. An arranger is always going to fall out of date because the styles that are in it are going to sound old. So your Genos is okay, it's now 6 years old. But if I go into, say, for example, dance and pick one of the rhythms, you've got nothing like this on a Tyros. Much more modern. Tyros sounds dated, absolutely prehistoric when it comes to comparing Genos to a Tyros 5. The drums are much more upbeat, the drums are certainly much higher quality. You've got the Revo drums, which you don't have in a Tyros 5. The CFX pianos and the improvement in the piano voices alone in this keyboard compared to the old Tyros 5, superior. I just don't understand why this band of people who've got Tyros 5 want to stick with Tyros 5 and defend it, because it's, as I say, you can't defend a product that's out of date and old, and if something goes wrong, God help you, because the parts are going to become obsolete. It's not always going to be a current machine. For the price of this second-hand, and I've seen these selling in the UK anywhere from 1800, 1750 up to 2300. Some dealers are milking them, and I'll be honest, I've got no interest in that. You know, selling them for £3,000 or 2,800 second hand is just, it's still like robbery. This should be sold for about 2,000, 2,200, and that's the price I would expect anybody buying one of these should pay. If you sell your Tyros 5, you're going to get, I don't know, about 800 to 1,000 for it as a private sale. But music stores selling these second hand for anything more than 222, they're ripping you off. There's no two ways about it. This is a keyboard that you can go and now, if I had a look on eBay about 10 minutes ago, there's lots on there, £2,000, 2.2, 2.3. That's with speakers and stand even. So if you are going to think of looking maybe at a longer lifespan for your hobby, I really do recommend you get one of these. Even spending like thousands on other brands for a new keyboard, I wouldn't. This thing is more than capable of entertaining you for days, weeks, months, years. It's got so much to it. You've got double song player with move over slider, so you can move from one track to the other. You've got all the multi-pad options, which even some of the new keyboards, in fact, say so, most of the keyboards out there now don't even have. It's not an option that's been activated, or some are saying, well, it's coming soon. God knows when that'll happen. But the thing with the Genos is, if you simply go to the piano voice, and Yamaha are now showcasing an even better, they're hinting at an even better piano on the Genos 2. I have no issues with this. People do comment and say, well, maybe it should be a bit brighter. Well, that's easily fixed, because if you go to the Pop Grand, it's got balls. It really is. It's just ace. If I didn't have to or want to upgrade to a Genos 2, or maybe I was sort of financially strapped, I wouldn't have a problem keeping this. I really wouldn't have a problem, and I will be keeping this, because this has been a keyboard that I can grow with, because I can add new voices. It's got 3 gigabytes of storage space. I'm sure the new one will have more. I'm hoping for at least 10. But 3 gigabytes of storage space, it's still as good as any other keyboard out there on the market. There's nothing else advertising more than 3. It comes with the software that you can create your own samples easily. It comes with the ability to create your own styles on board. Again, some keyboards don't even have that. I just don't understand. I say, if I thought for one moment there was something radically flawed with this keyboard, and Tyros 5 was the all singing, all dancing solution to your musical requirements, I'd say so. I mean, I hope now, by certainly you watching my channel, that you trust what I tell you, because if something's crap, I'll tell you it's crap, and this isn't. Anybody that says that this keyboard is rubbish or doesn't do this, doesn't do that, either A, doesn't have the funds to buy one, B, is working for another company, or C, is just simply somebody who's negative, because there's nothing in here for you not to buy it. If you've got a Tyros 5, you're going to notice a massive improvement in tonal quality. You're going to notice a massive, I can't emphasize this, difference in styles. The styles are so much better in Genos than they are in a Tyros 5, Tyros 4. Even the SX900 is better than a Tyros 5. It's got better brightness, it sounds more modern. It's just a whole new package. And let me just go back to key point 1. This is 6 years old now. So you won't be buying state-of-the-art technology that's going to depreciate massively in value like the Genos 2, because once you've got one, it's going to drop. But buying this now makes 1000% sense, because the instrument has taken that initial drop. It's gone from $4,000 to 2. It's half the price, and it's still 100% the quality of product. It's not lost anything over those years. As I said to you, people who have these look after them. I mean, I have seen one that looked like it'd been dragged through a cowshed, and how anybody could play it like that, I really don't know. But overall, this keyboard is loved, cherished by everybody who has one. I don't know anybody that's actually bought one and said this is the worst thing I've ever had. I can tell you people who've bought other keyboards, many people who've bought other keyboards, but this has not had that response. So let me just quickly show you, because going through, I'm sort of trying to picture who's your normal sort of average viewer for my channel. And I know I get lots of requests for sort of jazz and swing and sort of pop, and so, you know, I mean, come on. And don't forget, every single one of these styles, if you wanted to, you could change very easily. You can revoice them. It's an absolute walk in the park. And one of the big problems with other keyboards that I've always flagged is, for example, if I've got my piano on there, let's pick a nice acoustic piano, which is again that pop grand. Right, everything that you see on this keyboard now, every single setting, every detail, the minute I press memory and click a registration number, it's stored in there. Every bit of information, the variation, the arrangement, the reverb, the effects, hell, even the microphone settings, it's in there. Some keyboards out there don't even do that. And this is now at a price point that's half of those other brand new instruments. So this, crazily enough, is actually more of an advertisement for a Genos than a Genos 2. Okay, Genos 2 is going to appear, people are going to buy it. It's without question. And yeah, I agree. I'm going to do the same, as well as keeping this. However, this now is the most attractive, most beneficial purchase you could make at the price that these things are advertised at. So I would say keep your eye on places like Gumtree, eBay, even user groups on Facebook. Maybe some dealers are keen to get rid. Don't pay anything above 2,300 for one of these. It's not worth it. 2,300 is what you should be expecting to pay. And to my mind, you're getting yourself one hell of a product. I mean, if you look at the SX900, it's not a million miles away from the price of one of those new. So 2,300, 2,200 for this is perfect. And I kid you not, you'll not regret the money. You really won't. If you sell your Tyros, whatever you've got, Tyros something. In fact, I don't really want to ever hear the word Tyros because it's just so old. It's outdated. And watching videos where people are playing Tyros and sort of saying, no, this is the best thing since life. It isn't, because a new loaf came along 6 years ago and there's another new loaf coming along. Your bread is out of date. It's mouldy. It's old. This is what you should be buying. Like I say, I know I'm going to get some kickback from this because there are people who will defend things just for the sake of trying to make themselves look big and clever. You shouldn't be doing that. This is what you should be looking at, because this, if you're a true musician and you want to get the most out of your music, this is what you should be buying. I wouldn't recommend any other keyboard at this price point ever, at all. I mean, there's other instruments sat in this room with me that are sort of 3, 4, 5 grand. But much more beyond that used to be. They still don't do what this does. And they're twice the price of what this is now. So Genos 2 in many ways is a real great instrument, because it's freeing up Genoses to be made available to people who have got Tyroses and maybe have never wanted to sort of stretch out £4,500 on a keyboard. Well, now you can get one hell of an instrument for half the price. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the things like the guitars, I mean, there's so much. The pads, I mean, the whole synth section is brand new compared to your Tyros. There's whole musical genres in here that you don't have in your Tyros. Even the pop styles are so much more modern. One-touch settings, 1,000 times better than anything in the Tyros 5. They really did focus on those. There's great effects, there's more reverb than there used to be on the Tyros. One only flaw in the Genos, and really it's not a flaw because your existing Tyros 5 strings are still in here, is that they did this big promotional thing, which really was one of the worst things Yamaha's ever done, featuring this orchestral arranger. Big orchestra playing modern pop songs with these wonderful strings, and then when the Genos did arrive, the strings were absolutely terrible. You know, unless you're playing modern stuff. They are too scratchy, they're too thick, but that's not a problem because there's companies out there that make sounds that you can load in. So for another, I don't know, £60, £70, you can have a whole brand new string section that is, it's brilliant. So there's no reason now for you not to get a Genos. I don't see how anybody on this earth can say, well, I'm not getting rid of it because this. If you're still harking back to the fact that the Tyros 5 weighs a ton, then I've got no sympathy for you on that one. You know, if you're the sort of person that buys on weight and not on quality, help yourself, go for it. However, if you're the sort of person that likes quality sort of music and likes really great sounds, then Genos is the one for you. Anyway, I'm keeping this short and sweet. I will be making some more videos on Genos showing the benefits of upgrading now, because now is the time for you to do it. I wouldn't ever have sort of said go out and spend £4,500 on a keyboard. It's just getting silly. I mean, I remember the days, I'll share my age now, when the PSR 8000 came out, and it was all the Arranger flagships used to be 1,999 every year going onwards. Now we're double that, and probably even going further with the Tyros Genos 2. it's getting silly. It is getting incredibly expensive, and by doing so, you're making the exclusivity of your new products, Yamaha, more towards the, I would say, the elderly or sort of people who are retired who've got money. Because $4,500, $5,000 to somebody young, it's a deposit on a house. You know, it's just way too much money. However, this now is affordable. It's going to give you lots and lots of pleasure, hours of fun. It's got every conceivable thing in it, and you really won't sniff. It's a great product. It really is. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave it because I've given you my reasonings why you should start and look at getting a second-hand Genos, because that's what you should be doing. Get rid of that Tyros 5, get rid of that Tyros 4, 3, 2, 1. Anything starting with T, you need to move to G. In fact, Yamaha should use that as a tagline, T to G. Get out of the mindset of weight of a Genos is why you should keep it. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. I mean, you're not going to take this and sit there jumping up and down on it and go, well, this one breaks because my Tyros 5, I used to be able to sit on it. Well, who sits on a Tyros 5? What is the reasoning behind having a heavy keyboard? Makes absolute bugger all sense. And this, for me, is perfect. You can pick it up, you can move it around, you can stick it in a corner. It takes no trouble at all to set up. I do wish, my only wish with Yamaha was that they would condense the depth of their instruments, because it is hellishly deep with this lip on the back. But from what I see on the teaser videos, if it's going to be what it looks like, it could be probably the same case design and same case shape. Oh, I know, 6 years I've coped with this, it's not a problem. The Ketron that I've got sat here, it comes to about here for the whole instrument. So you've got a good chunk of depth that it fills. So if you want to put it on a stand and have it as the top instrument, it starts to become a bit problematic. I don't understand why Yamaha keyboards seem to be getting wider. The montage is the same. That's pretty deep. I don't understand why you can't condense things and bring them closer to the player. I mean, my ultimate instrument would be an entire instrument from here, just lift up panel, and it's all touchscreen. I can happily get rid of all these buttons. With a correct screen, you can make it so that you can easily control stuff. You don't need to have physical sliders anymore, as long as the screen is responsive enough to your touch. I mean, an iPad, you can do everything on an iPad. Why can't we do that? But anyway, that's, I don't know, is that future thought for somebody at the Yamaha? I don't know. I don't know even if they care to listen to people anymore. But that's just my little gripe. Right, so on that note, I'm going to disappear. This is the one you should be getting. Stop buying anything below. If you're going to buy an SX900, I recommend you go looking for Genos secondhand. Buy secondhand every time. Whoever bought this, or whoever, for example, if you're going into a shop and there's one sitting there, the person that handed it in took the hit. Why should you? You don't need to. These keyboards are awesome, and it's kind of Yamaha's fault, because now they've created something that's so good, that still is so good, that maybe they will kill off their own smaller keyboard sales. Who knows? I don't know. But I would recommend one of these morning, noon and night. And on that note, I'm going to say good night and goodbye. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do, because as soon as the Genos 2 lands, I shall have one sat here and I will be notifying everybody and giving you sort of a walkthrough and showing you what it does and all that sort of good stuff. And of course there's other instruments as well. There is a montage on its way, so I'm going to have a little sort of play with one of those as well, so I'll be showing you around the montage and showing you some of the sounds. So do keep in touch. Anyway, until next time, look after yourself and take care. Bye bye.